Thank y'all for stopping by our YouTube channel, The Power Revolution with Roy and Ray. I am Ray, and today I am bringing you a prophetic word. By the way, thank you so much once again for all the likes, subscribing, and sharing our videos. We really do appreciate that. Just keep spreading that word like peanut butter. Let's get the word out to everyone that needs to hear it. Well, the prophetic word that God gave me today as I was praying and warring in the spirit, and also just standing in gratitude to God, thanking Him for comfort, for shelter, for heat, praying for the homeless, praying for the people, single moms that are struggling right now, that are trying to make ends meet, people that are feeling the backlash of all the quarantine, the COVID, when kids have to be home from school and everything like that. It can be really difficult and a hardship on the parents. Parents being exposed to COVID and having to take days off of work and losing pay. So I know that God is still on the throne and still in control of all of our lives. So He pressed in my spirit as I was praying and warring in the spirit for you all, for us all, to give you this word. He says, turn it over. Turn it over. So what I saw prophetically is that right now, many of us are going through what the way I like to describe it is Israelites walking through the Sea of Galilee, kind of season, where we have to march through. And even the word march to me is significant, because I see that the process starts today, but it's going to end in March, where we are crossing through on dry land between chaos on the left and the right, with the sea split between us, and we've had to overcome some miraculous hurdles, and that there are enemies behind us chasing us, coming at us from the back, from our past, right? Pressing forward toward us, trying to pull us back in, trying to destroy our purpose and our destiny that lies ahead of us. But yet we are in a season right now, from now through March, that as we go forward, listening to God, staying in alignment with His vision for us, His promise that we will cross over to the other side and stand on His promise of that promised land, that land of milk and honey. That if we do not get distracted by, because I need you to just imagine when the Israelites were going through the sea, that the waters had risen up high on each side, and they were walking on dry land, a miracle, a divine miracle, and that the sea was filled with life on each side. And also behind them were Pharaoh and his soldiers chasing them, trying to drag them back into what? Slavery. So that what God is showing me is that we are pressing forward. We're pressing forward in our freedom. We are pressing forward with His guidance, with His leadership, and with His divine intervention in our situation. But we have to hold the course. We have to believe that the miracle that's at hand, the transformational process that is beginning now, that we deserve it, that we can stand in our royal authority and move forward out of that slavery and walk bravely to that new land, that we will not get stuck with anxiety and fear, and that we will come out on the other side. Now, once they did cross over, they had to go through a season of testing. And God spoke to me and said that those that are in this particular season of the Exodus, that they will be tested 7 times this year. And by the 7th month of this year, which is September, they will be fully supported and fully throned, is the word I'm hearing, in their land of milk and honey. And then I also saw, God showed me that many of us were in a season like the 12 nations of I want to say 12 disciples. I don't know why that's coming to mind, the 12 disciples. Well, that kind of makes sense too. But the 12 nations of Israel that had to walk around 7 times the walls of Jericho. And so God showed me that in the same instance of the testing, in the same situation of the Israelites, the Exodus, walking through that season where they had the divine miracle, where they were shepherded through away from their enemy, away from their problem, onto, on dry land. Divine intervention was at play, that they still, when they crossed over, they had to go through trials and testing before they made it to the promised land. That just like when the Israelites, when the 12 tribes, I said nations, I think that was meant to be said. So there is something political in the mix of that. But the 12 tribes, that as they encircled the walls of Jericho, they were already on the promised land. Jericho itself was the promised land. And yes, there were giant enemies inside the walls. But in faith, they believed God. They held to the vision that God gave them, that was their promised land. That was their land overflowing with milk and honey. That was their rightful inheritance, and that they would receive it by walking through and on top of the very walls that were trying to keep them from it. And so that is a prophetic word for many of us right now. Okay, as I see you turning over your problem, turning over your situation, turning over the circumstances where you feel like, maybe you're battling with health. Maybe that's your Jericho. Maybe that's your Exodus. Maybe you are battling with your finances, with hate on your job, with lies and gossip, with broken marriages and broken promises. Whatever it is that is your Jericho. It could be positive transformation. It could be that you were living in lack. You were living in poverty. Maybe you were single for a long time, and now all of a sudden here comes marriage, here comes abundance, here comes prosperity, and even that in itself is overwhelming you. Am I ready? Can I go through? Is this what am I everything that I should be? And so your battle is within your own mind. Your battle is with your own anxiety. Your battle is within your own self. So put it where it applies. But right now, know and believe that God is girding up your belt of truth. And He has strengthened your shield of faith so that you can press through and persevere. So that you can circle those walls of Jericho, with the enemy inside, threatening you with fear that you won't be able to obtain or sustain the vision that God has given you to live. So though you may be tested 7 times this year, know and believe by September, by the 7th month of this year, you will overcome, and you will be able to fully sustain and attain that vision, that dream that God placed down inside of you. Whatever it is that you have been longing for years. And yes, there's going to be a lot of distractions. Even when I was trying to make this video, I got interrupted so many times. I had to start over, I believe at least 10, 11, 12 times I had to start over. And the winds just kept blowing. But I know that just as I persevered to get this word out to you, and that same tenacity to hold on in faith to what God said is true over your life, with that same tenacity to keep pushing forward. That if you bring that level to the playing field, you will overcome your enemy. No matter what distractions are playing around you, you have to push on, and you have to stand in faith, firmly believing that you deserve to receive that overflowing land of milk and honey that God says you are equipped to receive. Also, I saw, more specifically, when I say turning over, I saw keys being turned over. I saw people moving. I saw new keys being given for new jobs, new buildings, new doors being opened. I see people that were locked up, either in the situation of their life where they felt imprisoned, or actual prison, or imprisoned by maybe that they were a single mom with 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. I don't know. Or maybe that they were in a job where they felt stuck in, when they really wanted to be an entrepreneur and have their own business. Or they were trapped in a abusive or loveless marriage. Whatever it is, I saw a shifting in the atmosphere, that as you turned over that situation to God, that He literally was not only turning your life over, a 360-degree turnaround, a complete transformation, a transfiguration, right? Because you're going to become a new creature. Not only is your life going to be different, but it's going to be brand new, to almost unrecognizable to what it used to be. But that you also will be receiving new keys, new doors, new opportunities. So stand firm and stand strong. And don't worry about the enemy, the lies of the enemy that comes to threaten you or distract you from His promise. All right, I love y'all to life. There's nothing you can do about it. Have a blessed and God-filled day.